writing partners, and I have a little sheet up here. We're going to be working with our writing partners, and I have some steps on how we're going to do that, Macy. You ready? I have some steps on how we're going to go about doing that and how we're going to look at some of your finished writing that you have in your writing portfolios. I'm going to put stuff in here to go like this and slide it down. Okay.
I only have one story.
Okay. So, one of the first things that we're going to do, Eric, is we're going to take out some of our writing in a second. We're going to take one story at a time, okay? And we're going to meet with our partners. And so the first step is you're going to tell your partner what it is that your story is about. So you're going to kind of tell them a little bit about it so that they know what they'll be listening for. It's kind of like when we met together and we planned out the story, our sticky note stories. You guys remember that? We planned out our sticky note stories. And you met with me and you said, okay, I want to write a story about the fair. And so I said, okay, great, let's get out our story hand and let's plan out what's going to be in your story. And so you're going to kind of do the same thing to your partner. You're going to say, my story was about, remember in mine, my story was about losing my tooth when I was a little girl. Okay, so I had my tasty tooth story that I wrote. Remember that? And so I would tell my partner what my story is about. What are they going to be listening for? Okay, so that's step one. Tell your partner what to listen for. Partner, what your story is about. Okay. Then step two would be you're going to read your story to your partner. So you're going to sit side by side. Aiden, can you be my partner for a sec? Can you be my partner for a sec? So we're going to sit side by side. Remember, we sit knee to knee, side by side when we read a story so that Aiden can see the words when I read to him. You don't need to see it right now, Nolan. Okay, so that way Aiden can see the words. I'm going to read my story to Aiden, and we're going to figure out those words together that we might have sounded out, stretched out those words. So Aiden's going to need my help. I'm not just going to hand my story to him and say, here, read my story. I'm going to read it to him, right? Okay, so that's step two. Thanks for being my partner,
He
Aiden.
might not know what those words are.
Right, exactly. So he might not know what those words are, so I'm going to help him out. I'm going to read my story. And what's Aiden's job, do you think?
To listen.
So we're going to read story, and partner is going to listen. And partner listens. Okay, and I'm going to draw two people that are sitting next to each other. Put their knees like that, knee to knee. There we go. And we're going to share that book in the center there so that both of us can see it. Okay, so one person is talking, and one person has a zipped, I'm going to draw a zipper mouth, zip lips, and they are listening. Big old ears there. Okay, it kind of looks like a monkey, huh? That's okay. But we remember that way, right? So they have their mouth zipped, they're listening, okay? Then when you're all finished reading your story, what you're going to do is your partner, the one that was listening to your story, they're going to first start off by, we always want to start with positive things. They're going to start off by giving you, Nolan, can you put that under your bottom? By giving you some compliments, right? We'll call those like our stars, our good things. So I'm going to put a star next to that one. So your partner is going to give you compliments first. What does that big old word mean, compliments? Raise your hand if you know. Callie, what does a compliment mean?
It means like it could be shaking your hand and saying good job or something.
Okay, so well, good job that makes us feel good, but we want to be a little more specific. So if I did something, let's see, I read my story. I'm going to see if you guys can help me out here and give me a compliment. I'm going to read just my first page of my story, and you tell me something I did good, okay?
I know what compliment means.
Awesome. Okay, so remember it means something we did well. So you guys listen for that a minute, and we're going to see if we can be very specific on how we give compliments. My grandparents came over to watch The Little Mermaid with us in my basement. The lights were dimmed, and we had a giant buttery bowl of popcorn. It was yummy. The smell of butter blew me away. So what was something I did really good in that story, really well, Keelan? I made it sound exciting. That's a nice compliment. So I made it exciting. How did I do that, Peyton?
Because I had it in my head. I forgot it though.
Okay, if you think of it, just raise your hand. Callie?
It makes sense.
It makes sense. That's a very specific compliment. So I know my words are in order. It makes sense. I had good details and made it exciting. That's good feedback to have. If I just said it was good, do I know what I did well? No, then I really don't know. So it's good. I like those very specific examples. So I'm going to put next to compliments, be specific. What did they do well? So I'll write that question under there. What did they do well?
Question mark.
Okay, so we're going to give a few compliments, and then, Connor, after we're done with that, we're going to give one suggestion. Okay, just one. We're going to stick with one. Kind of like when I meet with you and I conference with you guys, I give you one thing to go away and work on. Okay, so we're going to do one suggestion.
Ooh, I have a good one.
Okay?
What is not suggested?
There's always something we can do. Okay, so maybe that you think, oh, well, there's even every writer, even a famous author that writes a book can always go back and think, oh, let's look at some of our posters. Remember, you could add, what did you say? What were you thinking? What did you feel or see or hear or touch?
The black hole is a fake story.
Okay, so even if it's a fake story, right? A lot of our stories are made-up stories. That's okay. But we can always add more details to them. So you think, oh, let's look at that poster. What else could you add that you don't have on there? So maybe even if you can't think of something that you could give an idea, oh, you didn't tell what you were doing, or you didn't tell much about your characters. Maybe you could add that. Or you don't have any dialogue in there. Maybe you could add that. So let's look at our dialogue poster. Okay? So you could always give your partner one suggestion of something that they could go away and fix. Okay? So what you're going to do when you come up with a suggestion is I'm going to give you a sticky note. Okay? And maybe your suggestion is to add details. So guess what I'm going to do? On my sticky note, I'm going to write add about what you saw. So add, and I'm just going to put an eyeball. I'm going to make it simple. I don't need to write add what you saw. I can just write add, or even a plus sign, add, about what you saw. Just a note so that my partner remembers when they go away what it was they were supposed to do, what my suggestion was. So I'm going to go, okay, this page, maybe I could add some more about what I saw happen. So I'm going to stick that on that page for my partner so they know what that suggestion was, okay? So add suggestions, and when you're done with that, so then step 4 is to mark the spot. Okay, so if you talk about this page, you need to add what you saw, or this page, you need to add more details, or this page, the words didn't make sense right there. Put the sticky note right by it so your partner knows where to do it. So mark the spot. I'm going to put a sticky note right up here.
I have some you can add.
Okay, what do you think?
Color.
Color? Oh yes, I didn't do the illustration step today because I was trying to be fast to show you guys. Okay, so I could add a little bit to my illustrations, but let's think about the words when we're talking with our partner, okay? Mostly the words, because we're not beautiful artists in here, but we are excellent writers, aren't we? Some of us are beautiful artists.
Terrible.
Okay, so mark the spot with a sticky note, and then guess what you're going to do after you mark it with your partner? What do you think you're going to do? Any ideas? After I make a suggestion, what are you going to do? Maddie? You're going to go right? You're going to go fix it. What color pen do I use when I fix?
Red.
Okay, so I'm going to write in red up here that I'm going to go back then and make some changes to my writing. Okay? Make changes.
In my writing.
Or fix. And I'm going to draw a little hammer maybe.
Why?
Because you fix things with hammers.
Also with,
Okay? So I drew a little hammer. so let's review one more time what you're going to do in just a second. Peyton, you ready? So remember, this is my star row. Stars. No stars. Stars. No stars. Stars. And no stars. Okay? So, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so the star partner is going to start off. They're going to be the reader. They're going to get out one story that they want to share with their partner. Nolan? Put the crayon away right now. They're going to get out one story that they want to share with their partner. They're going to tell their partner, what is the story about? So to say, I wrote a story about losing my tooth when I was a little kid. Okay? Your partner is going to sit next to you like Aiden and I were. They're going to read their story, the star partner is. What's the not star partner going to be doing? They're going to listen, right? Then after they're done reading the story, remember we have to give a couple of compliments. How many is a couple?
2.
At least 2 compliments to make us feel good. So 2 compliments. And then one thing you can work on in your story. If you don't have any ideas of what they could work on, right up here. Some suggestions. Did they have the setting? Did they have the characters? Did they use dialogue? Did they add details? Did they have a good wrap-up ending to their story? Go look at that board if you need. And then mark it for them with the sticky note that I'm going to give you. Everyone understand?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to ring the chimes. We're going to come back to the rug. We're going to share a little bit, and then we're going to switch jobs so that the other person's going to read a story. Okay? So, right now I'm going to give all the star partners who are going to be, I'm going to give all the no star partners who are going to be listeners, I'm going to give them the sticky note because they're going to mark on your paper, stars. They're going to mark. Okay? Here. The no star partners are going to be listeners. Remember, the stars are going to be the readers. As soon as you have your sticky note, you can find a spot. Find your writing spot, reading spot, and go get started sharing your